What's up, everyone? Welcome to my very humble channel. Now let's get on into the vegetables on a ketogenic, not a carnivore diet, but a ketogenic diet and a low carb, high fat diet. As you can see right here, I just did a general keto vegetables charts, and I want to sort of go over my thoughts on these vegetables. Now, we've got spinach, which is high in oxalates, so we're not going into that. If you're doing a butter lettuce or a romaine, iceberg, salads here and there, that's fine, but otherwise I would be very, very careful for these dark leafy greens. Bok choy, we got, which is your cruciferous. Besides the cucumber, we have cauliflower, asparagus, green beans, cucumber. So the asparagus is the best because of the prebiotic fiber. This is going to help stabilize the gut microbiome. And people hate when I say this. Facts. And the reason why I call it facts is because every client that I have worked with that has reintroduced from carnivore a little bit of prebiotic fiber, over time, they've been able to manage this gaping hole, leaking gut where people have developed food sensitivities, or they've developed bloat, or the inability to digest fiber very well because of their colon. So some people actually become more constipated on fiber, which should not be the case. Now, asparagus is one of the least, ironically, man-manipulated vegetables out there. But let's continue. So we've got cauliflower, we've got cucumbers, which cucumbers don't have a lot of fiber, so be careful. The carb count can go up if you have too much. Green beans, here and there. Cabbage, eggplant is way too high in carbs. Kale is a hard goitrogenic pass. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, peppers. So broccoli, Brussels sprouts are goitrogenic, which can block iodine from getting into the thyroid, especially if you're sensitive to thyroid nodules or expanding thyroid. Zucchini, small amounts. Peppers are nightshades. I wouldn't do that. Yarmulke, no. Too much starch. Tomatoes, no. Spaghetti squash would be a little bit too high in carbohydrates, but less in histamine. What I think that people should do is closer to the cruciferous family, but very much cooked if you have a thyroid problem. If you don't have a thyroid problem, you don't have to worry about it whatsoever. Mushrooms, you see mushrooms here. Mushrooms are okay if you don't have a candida overgrowth. But the eggplant, the squash, just really pushing it on the carbs for ketogenic reality. The worst vegetables for keto. These are not, I'll tell you one thing, for low carb, high fat, parsnip in small amounts, sweet potato, red potato, yams, they're all approved, and not the corn. And also pumpkin is approved if you're doing low carb. That means you're not trying to drive ketosis. Let's see what it says here. Asparagus, spinach, Swiss chard, celery, lettuce, cabbage, squash, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. They really love to shove in there the bell peppers and the tomatoes. I do not know why. It's sort of fallacies, right? Ketogenic vegetables, arugula, broccoli, cucumber, mushrooms, sugar snap peas. I mean, you can't get into ketosis with the sugar snap peas. with too much yellow squash, with the eggplant. These are way too high in carbohydrate. Even the radishes can get a little too high. Avocados. And avocados are a fruit. So are tomatoes. I would be very, very careful with some of these vegetable choices. So high carb beets, potatoes, sweet potatoes, all of this where it says high carb vegetables, these would be okay for somebody doing a low carb, high fat, minus the corn. Let's just take out the corn. But everything else you see here, beets, not the white potato, but red potato, sweet potato, parsnip, yams, peas, yucca, all in small amounts. I'm going to go over the actual amounts right now. Basically, if you are doing a ketogenic diet, you don't need a lot. Just like a little palmful, like a golf ball size of carbs once a day. And I mean vegetable carbs. This is for keto people. Once a day at lunch. That's all you need. You don't need to eat carbs all day long. And in fact, you can eat this much every other day. It's not to poop. It's just always to stabilize your gut microbiome. Why are so many people having constipation or diarrhea on carnivore? It's not that they need the fiber to poop. They need to keep the gut stable, the microbiome. With low carb, high fat people, you could do up to a handful of vegetables. And you can also do about a half a cup, a third of a cup to about a half a cup of like a red potato, sweet potato, white rice, parsnip in small amounts. This is how you would keep the glycogen storages from becoming too low, which is to do a half a cup. You're going to do about under 100 grams of carbs. So really between 80 to about 100 grams of carbs a day coming from a starch. Now you can also have your vegetables, but I'm counting starch as in red potato, sweet potato, parsnip, white rice. White rice I would keep on the low, like a third of a cup 3 times a day. Or you could do sweet potato up to a half a cup. And if you're a very active person doing low carb, you could do a full cup 3 times a day. Unfortunately, you have to keep glycogen storages full so you don't go into gluconeogenesis and start breaking down amino acids and putting pressure on the body. I hope this helps. As a quick tip, if you're having vegetable issues, find 2, rotate them every 3 days, and do small amounts. If you're doing keto, you could do if you're trying to get a prebiotic fiber, you could do the long green part of leek and just do a small amount. Or you could do asparagus every other day, a golf ball size, if not each day, and rotate them so your gut can get used to these plants, especially if you're coming from carnivore. Very, very important to rotate your meats, fats, and also people ask me, is there any other form of potassium that's not coming just from avocado? There's seaweed, there's seafood, but avocado is quite high. So if you're really struggling with potassium issues, with facial twitches, day cramps, heart palpitations, nausea, dehydration, that is potassium. And it gets depleted very easily on ketogenic and carnivore diets. So I hope this helps. If you guys want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com.